there, Janicki back here with another workout. I'm really excited for this one. Back is my second favorite body part to work, so I'm super excited to share this video with you. I'm gonna give you guys the 5 best cable back workouts that I'm doing right now to build some big lats. So hope you guys love this video. Remember, go subscribe to the page. It's free to you. It means a ton to me. I'm gonna be putting a ton of content on here. So without further ado, let's get it. All right, so first exercise we're gonna be starting with is a great lat activation exercise. A lot of times when people are hitting back, it's hard for them to really feel the contraction. So what I like to start with is actually with something called a pullover. So I'm gonna use a long handle, as you can use rope for this or a straight bar. But I like these long handles, I turn them sideways just because I get more range of motion. You'll see what I'm talking about. So pullover, the idea of the movement is it almost looks like you're setting up for a tricep push down, but you're not gonna pull the elbows back. You're gonna keep the arms pretty much like almost straight. You're gonna drive through, arch back, good posture, pull the shoulders back, squeeze in the back right under your armpits. You wanna feel this one right here, right underneath your armpits and your lats, and it should drive down through your lower lat. So this is a great activator for your back before you start pulling and doing more of your compound movements. So we're gonna go here, squeeze, arch back, posturally sound, slow as you can on the up. And you saw I got a big 1 to 2 count hold at the bottom of the rep. So I drive, hold, 2, and then slow on the up. That hold is really gonna start digging into those lats. And then I get that big slow thing, a huge stretch at the top. So that's another thing I talk to people about on back, is a big range of motion. So see how I get that huge stretch at the top, and then I drive through. That range of motion is gonna help break through those fibers and create long, healthy muscles as you build them. So that's why people ask me like why I don't stretch as often as I do. It's because I actually stretch with my movements. So that's my first exercise. I usually do that for 4 to 5 sets. I do 10 to 15 reps, the huge negative. Should get a really, really good pump in the lats before you work in your more compound movements. Exercise number 2. So what we're gonna do is a knee down single arm row. So I like isolateral work for back just because it really helps you isolate, whereas especially if you're using cables. So the reason I like this one, it's also gives you a lot more control with that knee down. So what we're gonna do is put a pad down here. I'm gonna take this down. Always remember that your pulling arm, that knee is gonna be down. So if I have it in my left hand, my left knee is gonna be down in the pad. What I wanna do is work on postural, so good long stride length, arch back, big stretch like I talked about on the pullovers, big stretch, dig in, arch back, pull that shoulder back, arch the back, pull the elbow down and in, squeeze that lower lat, and slow in the release, twisting the hand back out, pinky goes up, big stretch, and drive through, arching, squeeze, really try to pretend like you're taking your elbow and you're trying to, somebody's got you from behind and you want to try to elbow them as hard as you can. That's kind of that movement. So you have that twist up in the pinky here, and then you're driving in and you're squeezing, arching, keep maintain the posture. The thing I see the most with people doing back is at the bottom of the rep, they'll do this. You're gonna take it all here. You need to keep that down and back. See the difference here versus here? You're gonna get so much better with back contraction. So take the weight down. If you can't, come in, get a really good hold and squeeze. All right guys, exercise number 3, what we're gonna do is a crossover cable pull. So we're gonna go alternating grip, basically left hand grabs right handle and vice versa. And what we're gonna do is gonna sit down into it. So I like this because it's also an athletic movement. I know that people look at me and they're like, oh, you just look like a bodybuilder, but I used to be an athlete, believe it or not. So I like to kind of apply that towards my workout. So this is a little bit more, takes a lot more balance, uses core as well. So you'll see what I'm saying. So I'm gonna grab right hand, left handle, left hand to right handle. We're gonna dig back, and this is a good amount of weight. So I've got a counter lever with my body weight. So what I'm gonna do is drop my butt down and counter lever. If I stand up, this is gonna pull me forward, as you can tell. So I'm gonna sit down into it, counter ballast with my weight, arch back still. That's, remember, posturally is always so important. So arch that back, big stretch. I'm gonna dig in, both palms are gonna come up. I'm gonna do that double elbow position like I did with that single arm pull, and then slowing the out, turning the palms back to palms facing the floor. Big stretch as always. Dig in, arch, squeeze. And you always wanna sit down into this one because, like I said, if I'm coming, like I can't even, see, I just totally lost it. So what I wanna do is stay low so I can maintain that arch back, that postural position, squeeze in, pulling those elbows back, dropping the shoulders back and in, squeezing the lats, then slowing that release. Never just release a movement. You don't want to ever get a good hold and then just go out, because you're wasting half the movement. Always utilize that negative. So this is a great movement if you want to get something a little bit more athletic and dynamic. All right guys, so exercise number 4. So we've hit a lot of lats, hit a lot of mid back. What we want to do is hit the upper back now. So what we're going to do is take our rope attachment up on the top. We're going to go overhand grip on these, and we're going to do basically a high row. So we're going to come here, same positioning, we're going to sit down into it so we can counter ballast. We're going to stretch at the top, arch back, squeeze into about the shoulder height, and this is going to be for mid upper back. Big stretch and big hold on the contraction, 2 to 3 count hold. So hold, 2, 3, 1, slow on the out. You really want to focus on squeezing those shoulder blades together on this. Hold, 2, 3, 1, and slow on the out. Like I said, remember, you always want to utilize that negative part of a movement. So you never want to come here and just do this. You're only getting half the movement. Come in, squeeze, and go slow on out. So this is another progression you can do with this one is hold to about 10 reps, 12 reps, and then burn out to failure. So you can speed up the reps after you've done those holds. And that principle is called pre-exhaustion and exhaustion. So pre-exhaust will be the holds here, and then you get to pretty much exhaustion there, but you still got some more gas in the tank. So then we speed them up for what I call burnout reps. So that's another variation I really like for that exercise specifically. All right guys, last exercise. So this is actually one of my favorites. I do not have the full seated row setup. We are still in quarantine here in LA, so I don't have a full gym. But what I'm gonna do here is just use my cable setup to do it. And so it's basically gonna be a seated row with our V grip. So this is one of my favorite compound movements, especially on cables for back. So obviously you'd be on a bench at the gym, but we're gonna sit all the way on the floor on this one for me. So what I'm gonna do is arch back, get a big stretch here, and always want to pull those shoulder blades back on this. And you want to really feel like you can squeeze that V grip all the way just below your sternum, right in your stomach, upper abdomen area. So big stretch and big squeeze. That's going to be really essential for getting the proper contraction. You see a lot of people doing these and throwing it and going high too, pulling high. What I want to see is you pulling lower, arching the back, really contracting that lower to mid back and squeezing those lower lats. This is a great lower lat builder, which is one of the hardest things in bodybuilding to target. So just be cognizant of your form. This is definitely can turn into an ego lift if you let it. So don't worry about the weight as much on these. Take your time to focus on the squeeze, the contraction. It will really help you in the long run. So, all right guys, so I hope you guys love that. Those are my 5 favorite cable back exercises right now. I'm gonna be doing another series on back in the future, but I hope you guys love this one. Remember to go subscribe to the page, and without further ado, I'll catch you on my next video.